What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today, just throwing all caution to the wind, I'm mildly excited. Is it almost a guilty pleasure or embarrassing that I'm excited about the XFL in its glorious mess? Like, I'm fairly concerned that it's not a good idea. It's not going to work. I wasn't a big fan of the original XFL. I mean, I was really huge into football back when the XFL in 2001. I was only 8. But I didn't really care about it ultimately. Like, it was supposed to be football for people that necessarily weren't super hardcore in the NFL, and even that didn't appeal to me. But ultimately, now we're at a point in time where I pretty much talk about football for a living. More football, especially entertaining football, is definitely interesting. So what we are going to do here today is we're going to look at Madden, and we're going to build the all-star XFL team. So ultimately, XFL team, sure, you might get some NFL guys that are, you know, set to retire. They might come out of retirement. They pay them enough money. We don't really know what the salary's like. You might be able to get some AFL players. You might be able to bring some guys from the CFL that want to move back to America, like Johnny Manziel particularly. I think he's signing with Hamilton in CFL. So looking at the current NFL free agents, and if we were building a team, what we are going to do, we're going to throw them on the Browns. We're going to make an XFL team and do a quick sim. I mean, the sim it's more so what is the team of free agents that we could build, less so how well they would do against the NFL, because ultimately, if you took like an XFL from the first year all-star team with like Tommy Maddox and He Hate Me, Rod Smith, they were going to get destroyed. So, look at the roster. We're starting the quarterback spot. And now, you know, basically watching the XFL intro, it did seem a lot of like, you know, we're going to stand for the anthem. It almost felt like that is why Vince McMahon is doing this, because of the outcry and the sheer disappointment of how divided the country was about people kneeling for the anthem. But when you look at the available quarterbacks, assuming Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, those are a couple big flashy names. Maybe I don't think Tebow would go to the XFL, to be honest with you. You know, these are the big two I think that would still be out there. Colin Kaepernick and RG3. But when you're Vince McMahon, you're a businessman. Ultimately, you go with where the money is going to be coming from, and that is by signing Colin Kaepernick. That's easy money right there. But you know, we'll sign RG3 as well. That definitely make the roster. Look at the running backs here. This is, you know, where do you go in terms of running backs? Do you go with name value? Do you go with guys with upside? I mean, when you look down here, there's definitely a couple players that can still play. I mean, you got Trey Mason. If he can get his head on right, he looked like a legitimate future back for the LA Rams, or the St. Louis Rams when he was there. You got Dexter McCluster. You got Joik Bell, Chris Polk. You got Denard Robinson, former quarterback. Hell, the XFL might be a tremendous spot for Denard Robinson to become a quarterback once again. But when I'm looking at this roster here, what I am seeing is D'Angelo Williams is probably going to be one of the bigger names. But ultimately, you know what? We'll go with D'Angelo. He can still play. He showed he can still play with the Steelers. Plus, he kind of got into wrestling. And I know Vince McMahon really wants to differentiate the XFL from the WWE. But ultimately, if you have wrestling ties, you might want that. But then 2J2K. We'll definitely take a payday. Looking at fullbacks, we'll just leave fullbacks as is. Wide receivers. Now, you need flashy wide receivers that still want to play. Vincent Jackson, does he want to play? Eddie Royal, does he? I know Victor Cruz was. He's been on NFL Network a couple times, and he definitely is a big-time draw. Plus, he has a gimmick. He does the salsa dance. That is, you know, NFL competitors. You want to try to sell shirts. You want to try to excite the kids, and Victor Cruz is a kid-friendly type player. Now, this is necessarily how I would build my team, because I'd probably be getting a lot more of the undrafted rookies. DGB is interesting. Will they bring back a guy like DGB? I know Vince McMahon said he wants to try to keep the game clean, and because of all the off-the-field issues, I don't think DGB would land on a roster. Same goes with Josh Huff. But when you're looking here, guys that still could play, I mean, Philly Brown is definitely still fairly solid. We'll find a way to work him on the roster. And I guess you could say Cecil Shorts. I don't know. Wide receiver's a tough one. There's not a tremendous market. This would be more so, do you want to get just simply absurd depending on how much salary you want to spend and start targeting guys like Calvin Johnson and stuff that way? But I'm not exactly. Now we move to tight end. I mean, clearly, Gary Barnidge should be rostered in the NFL if he's still there. You're definitely picking there. Offensive line, I mean, we'll just leave the offensive line as is. We're not going to really, there's no flashy names. Zuta, definitely Brandon Albert starting experience. Bernardo spent time with the Panthers and the Cowboys. Wendell was on the Patriots. I mean, you know, Michael Orr, blindside. Clearly, you're going to get the blind in there. I don't know if he had off-field issues or not. Maybe that's why he's no longer rostered. But then when you look at the defense, man, this again, it's all about going with the big names. So Mario Williams, welcome to the team. When you look down here, this gets a little bit trickier. I mean, who would you really go here? Arthur Jones, brother of John Jones. Try to get that connection there. That's just to be able to name drop it. D tackle. I mean, we have some guys with some off the field, but maybe Paul Solia. He's been a veteran. Same goes with Babineau. I mean, there's not a lot of like flashy names here when you start talking about the defense. Outside linebacker, we just cut Jaden Collins, so there's roster room on the Browns. But I mean, it's getting pretty rough on the defensive side. I mean, Perry Riley Jr., there you go. There's a great name. He's 81 overall. I'm still surprised he's not rostered in the NFL for any of these teams that still need a linebacker. So that'd be a big... DeQuell Jackson, another guy, performed very well at a high level. He's a veteran, but still was productive. He'd be great for a secondary. DeAndre Levy, there you go. This guy was a stud for the Browns, or for the Lions, sorry. The Lions, he's one of the best cover linebackers in football. Get a guy like Jarvis Jones, put him at defensive end. There you go. That's getting outside the box. We look at the secondary. Maybe Taylor Kamari's never done anything bad. Vontae Davis would be an interesting name at 29, even though, like I said, a lot of these guys, maybe not a lot of them, but you say probably half of them would probably try to look back into getting into the NFL. I mean, when you look at the secondary, there's still some guys. Sanquez Golston from Ole Miss. This guy had a bunch of interceptions when he was in college. Like, bust. That's going to be the best thing, too. The XFL could just make itself into the all-bust league with, like, D. Milner. We'll throw him on there. Guys that were incredibly hyped and never... Like, you have this guy. Charles James. You know, big guy from the HBO series when they were doing it with the Houston Texans. What do we got in the safety here? We're looking pretty low. Back of the safety, you got, I mean, looking kind of rough. Again, bust league. Go with guys trying to turn around. Calvin Pryor, strong safety. You can look at Dante Hittner. You got Major Wright from the Florida Gators. And Matt Elam trying to turn around. So go with Matt Elam here. Gator bias. Trying to turn around the bus. I don't know if there's any big names when it comes to kicking and stuff. Aguayo, there you go, that guy. People will honestly want to turn in a game to see if Aguayo is turning around or if he still sucks. And then the more you think about the XFL, I think it can be used as like a second chance league, like just a league for free agents to play dirt before the NFL season starts, and NFL teams, like, you know, the guys that really want to try to move on, just sign a one-year deal, just prove what you could do in the XFL, and then get signed to a training camp in the NFL and try to make a main roster. So we roughly have our roster. Let's just see how well they can compete. I'm not expecting them to do much of anything, but, you know, just to round out the video's sake. Let's see. All right, so here is our finalized roster. We'll start on the defense. We got to say some bust. Steve Milner here. We got Bug Wilson. We got Mario Williams. We got Matt Elam. Our linebacking coach, not terrible, man. Jarvis Jones, Perry Riley, and DeAndre Levy. I think if the XFL could pull these kind of names, it'd be looking kind of hot, as well as Calvin Pryor trying to make amends. Offensive line is predominantly backups, with more so the big name being Mr. Blindside himself, Michael Orr. Gary Barnes at tight end. We got Victor Cruz, Philly Brown, and of course, we might as well just throw in Josh Gordon. I know it may not be the stigma that you want, but in terms of feel-good redemption stories, Josh Gordon, okay. We got Kaepernick at quarterback, and look, I just couldn't do it. We got 40-year-old, we just modified D'Angelo Williams to make it Rod Smart, a.k.a. He Hate Me. 86, he was a running back and a return man out of Western Kentucky. We're just going to see what He Hate Me can do. Feeling good. Feeling great. So, let's jump into the season. Alright, so at the end of the season, let's see how well we did. Oh my, we went 8-7-1 with the XFL All-Stars. Colin Kaepernick as our starting quarterback, 3,500 yards, 24 TDs, 12 picks. He can still play. He hate me. He hate me. 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Okay, CJ 2K, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, that's all right there. That's a 40-year-old man. 40-year-old man putting up those types of numbers. Victor Cruz did good. Josh Gordon almost 1,000 yards. Burnage. He hate me getting involved. Philly Brown. Like, the thing that's frustrating, I did this as a joke. When have like a 90-some rebuild team, I've seen worse records than this. Perry Riley Jr., 111 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 picks. Schobert here got some snaps. Miles Garrett still found a way to play for 19 sacks. I guess that definitely helps. DeAndre Levy, 7.5 and a pick. Jarvis, 7 and 2. We got 3 picks. Bug Wilson. Is that Bug? Does he go by Bug Wilson? That might be. I think that's a wide receiver, actually. Bug Howard or something. Howard Wilson from Houston. 3 picks. But there you go. I mean, credit where credit is due. There might be something there, at least within the realms of the Madden sim. I'm all trying to bring this back to 2K making a football game. But regardless, a team made up of free agents with one 40-some-year-old XFL castaway can go 800. Or not 800, 500, 8-7-1. So there you go. Something to think about. Again, I already posed the question the other day, what do you guys think about the XFL coming back? But ultimately, man, I just want an XFL. I just want a 2K video game. I want something different than the NFL. That's where I'm at with it. So, Let me know what you think. If you guys were building your own XFL team, what are the key couple players would you look at trying to bring in? Would it be a Johnny Manziel? Would it be a Tebow? Would it be a Kaepernick? Would it be a D'Angelo Williams, CJ2K, and everyone else in between? Let me know. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Like the video. If you want me to, I was actually thinking maybe somehow, somewhere else, see if on the NCAA game, someone might have made the old XFL teams. Maybe I can make like a little XFL like one-off live stream or something like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. I don't know. Trying to capitalize on the XFL buzz. But that does it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching, and until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.